What's up, Bessie? I hear you want to make some gains. My name Chris, and I'm gonna give you a routine. It's gonna be a good one, man. Just like you in jail. Just like you in the yard in San Quentin, man. You gotta protect yourself from the other essays. Using them rusty ass weights, using that pull-up bar for everything, you know what I'm saying? It's so much fun to mess around, man. Anyway, guys, this hat's kind of the name of the game for this video. I wasn't even wearing it, but I saw it on my desk right before I started filming. Here's another video for you guys, just like I said I was gonna give you. This one's about Recomp. Just like I told you guys in the last video, Recomp specifically what I'm doing for my workout routine and nutrition for the time being. It's very interesting because my approach is gonna help a lot of you guys out. Nobody's been on a constant uphill climb for their whole lifting career, and if you have, it's probably because you're still a newbie. But trust me when I say you're gonna hit this, you're gonna hit the downhill, right? So you want a way to overcome that. You want a way to come back into it, especially if that downhill took you way down, just like mine did. If you don't know why my downhill is way down, look at my last video about where I've been. So this can be applied to you, obviously with the particular level that you're at. You might not be lifting the same amount of weight that I am. You might be stronger, you might be weaker, whatever it may be, but you can definitely apply this to your training, and you can definitely apply my nutrition methods to yourself, because it's going to be a very logical approach with a lot of common sense to it. And just hear me out so you guys can really understand what I'm doing and why it's leading to so many results in such a short time frame. Keep in mind, guys, just as a little recap from last video, I'm coming back from almost a year of doing nothing, and it sucks, but it also is a big reason why it's making such a drastic change now that I'm hopping back in it so consistently and so strong. But regardless of where you're at, whether you took a few weeks off, whether you took a few months off, obviously the changes will be relative to, you know, where you're at. All right, so what is a recomp? A recomp is when you take this time off, right, but you've been lifting for a few months, or I would say at least a few years prior, and something comes where it's just a hurdle, it's a bump in the road where it takes you out from training or it takes you out from dieting, or both in my case. And then you finally hop back on the horse and you're back to training, you're back to working out, you're back to dieting, you know, putting two and two together so that you can get your results back. A recomp is basically your body going back to where it was prior to when you hit that dip, that bump in the road. And the gains come 10 times faster than when you got them in the first place because you already had them in the past. If you've already had those gains will come back. And that's what the recomp is. What do you want to do? Obviously, the two things that matter, training and nutrition, you have to put those two things together. You have to realize where you're at, what it's going to take for you to get back on the horse, and, you know, be 100% with everything. And take baby steps. I learned this the hard way, guys. There's been 1 or 2 times in this past year where I hop back into the gym and I hop back into dieting way faster and way more aggressive than I should have. And that actually even discouraged me a little bit more than what I was in the first place. So I had to leave the gym and I had to stop my dieting because I was telling myself, what the hell am I doing, man? This is just too much for me to handle right now. My mind's not in it. I'm not ready to go. So avoid that step, learn from my mistake, and take baby steps. So wherever it is that you need to be, it's gonna take baby steps to get there. You can't just make a drastic change and expect to keep it. So for example, your appetite might be down and your strength might be down. You can't just go into the gym and start trying to lift your max weights, and you can't just expect yourself to just grow an appetite out of nowhere from one day to the next and just start eating 1,000,000 pounds of food. It just doesn't work that way. So there's things that you have to do, steps you have to take in order to get to where you need to be. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna tell you guys my story from the past 5-6 weeks, how my recomp has been going and what I've actually been doing specifically to get the results that I have gotten. I'll start off by telling you guys about 5-6 weeks ago, I weighed 177 pounds, which again is very low for me, 7 pounds above my stage weight in competition, and a couple pounds away from most of those back aesthetics shredded videos you've seen in the past. I mentioned that in my last video, but just for reference again. I'm back at 197 pounds now pretty consistently. I'm not swaying too much from my weight. I'm very happy with where I am. I've been about 210 in the past, and off seasons, but I don't really think that's a good weight for me. I think mid to high 190s is a very good, solid, comfortable area for me. My body composition has actually improved drastically from where I was at 177 to where I am now at 197. So I actually gained 20 pounds in 5 to 6 weeks, and my body composition got drastically better from what it was 20 pounds ago in 5 to 6 weeks. So that's the Recomp effect, guys. That's crazy how it works. But let me tell you guys what I did to do that. So hopefully this can encourage you guys to hop back on the horse and do a Recomp of your own, or do it next time you have a hurdle that you need to jump across. I actually was very fortunate because, like I said, at the end of May, I partnered with My Protein. My Protein gives me all my sups. The main sups that I take are just plain whey protein. My favorite protein of all time is the My Protein Salted Caramel Impact Whey. I'm actually afraid to taste other flavors that a lot of you guys have recommended for me, just because the salted caramel is so damn good. I'm happy to support them too. You know, the prices are really good. I'm actually happy to say that anybody that I'm affiliated with, so in this case, My Protein for supplements, it's a company that I would buy my supplements from if I wasn't sponsored from them. You know, I think that's just the way you should be. You gotta be realistic about it. I'm not gonna sit there and recommend something for you guys if I'm not being real about it, and I wouldn't even do it myself. So anyway, I got sidetracked, guys. Anyway, I got all my supplements from My Protein, predominantly protein powder and creatine monohydrate, just plain unflavored creatine. Those are my two main supplements that I really started implementing into my nutrition to hop back on the horse strong and consistently. My appetite has been growing little by little, but the way I've been able to stay in it and get my protein in and get my calories in has been largely thanks to my supplements. Otherwise, I would have to eat chicken breast or fish or whatever it is that I wouldn't have the appetite for. 4, 5 protein shakes a day sometimes just to get my protein in. But anyway, this has been my nutrition approach. We'll start with nutrition, then we'll go to the exercise portion, okay? Before I started the Recomp, for about 8-9 months, like I told you guys before, I was struggling to get 60 grams of protein in per day. I'm a guy who's always had a big appetite, so it was very weird for me to go through that phase of a lack of appetite. I'm still at a lack of appetite right now, but not as drastic. It's growing, and you guys will see why in a second. But that had to change. That was a big change that I made starting on my Recomp. What I did was I told myself I need to get 190 grams of protein a day. Every day, don't skip a day. If it requires more protein shakes, so be it. Drink more protein shakes. That's something that your appetite can cope with, especially if you're just drinking with plain water or milk in some cases, not over volumizing it or whatever, and just getting it in. So another thing that I added was 5 grams of creatine every day, right? No cycling, no loading, nothing like that. Just 5 grams of plain creatine monohydrate per day. Those have not changed, and I've been doing those every day for the past 5 to 6 weeks when I started my Recomp. That's been consistent, okay? My fats have been anywhere between 50 and 75 grams. I have a window there. I'm not worried about it. There's a range. And my carbs have been anywhere from about 125 to 250. Again, what I'm doing right now is slowly eating more calories. And my main goal is to support my strength in the gym and not lose weight. If I gain weight little by little, it's fine with me as long as my body composition looks the same or better. So that's been my approach, right? I gained all this weight, but I've been monitoring little by little to make sure that my body composition wasn't getting worse. I knew once I reached mid to high 190s, I shouldn't continue to gain weight because that's usually my happy area, where performance is good, body composition is decent for off season. So I just didn't know how long it was going to take. Came pretty fast, 5 to 6 weeks after the starting point. So again, my protein has been 190 grams every single day. Creatine monohydrate, 5 grams every single day. Trying to keep up with my fiber, say 15 to 20 grams per 1,000 calories of intake. But like I said, my fats and carbs are varying anywhere between 50 grams of fat and 75 grams of fat. And carbs can be anywhere from 125 to even 275, I would say. So again, this isn't a traditional bulking phase
where you're going to be just very, very meticulous with counting every tiny gram of fat, carb, and protein. Although you can, but again, this is what I was talking about, being realistic. You don't want to do something drastic. You don't want to go from not tracking for months and not eating for months to doubling or tripling your caloric intake and having to be meticulous with your numbers and tracking every single little thing, because that's not going to be realistic. Baby steps. I'll track my macros within, the nearest gram in the future, but right now I'm just kind of sticking within ranges and keeping track and keeping progress based on my body composition on this recomp, right? That's the number one thing you're keeping your eye on when you're recomping, is your body composition, okay? The rate of gain and the body composition changes are not relevant to a normal bulking phase or a normal cutting phase. It's just a complete transformation you make in a short time frame. So you got to keep your eyes on your body and what it's doing. Make sure that you're going in the right direction, okay? If your body weight gains faster than expected, just make sure your body composition is looking good. If you're not gaining weight at all, that's fine. Just make sure your body composition is getting better. If you're losing weight, I don't recommend to lose weight. That's one thing. I didn't want to lose weight. If I was losing weight, I would start to eat a little bit more. I don't expect you to lose weight when you're recomping in most cases, but if you are, I would not recommend it. You want to at least maintain, if not gain, at a slow rate. In my case, it was a little bit faster, but again, eyes on body composition. So for nutrition, that's what I've been doing. It's been working very well. I've been flexible with the overall calories of it, but again, keeping track of making sure the body weight doesn't go down and making sure the body composition stays the same, if not improves little by little over time. I recommend taking pictures every few days. What I've been doing is snapping a few pictures every few days and emailing them to another email of mine, just saying, recomp, July 22nd, recomp, August 8th, recomp, August 11th, recomp, August 16th. And that way I can go back and look at my pictures and say, okay, I'm making progress. You can even be, as strict as taking pictures every certain amount of days and just really tracking those to make sure you're going in the right direction. Mine was very obvious that I was going in the right direction, so I wasn't too carried away with what days I was taking my pictures. Nutrition, that's what I've been doing for nutrition. So now we're just gonna shift over to my workout, okay? This is what I've been doing for the past 5 to 6 weeks. Again, I cannot take full credit for this. I discussed this with Eric Helms of Team 3DMJ, one of the most knowledgeable people in sports nutrition in the world. So again, very thankful, very fortunate to have that guy in my corner and, helping me. So this has been the approach for the past 5 to 6 weeks. And I really recommend for you guys to take this approach no matter where your strength level's at, no matter what you had to go through. I think there's something you can definitely learn from what I'm about to say with this training approach. To start, it was important to establish what movements I was gonna do, okay? Obviously, you take time off from the gym, you take months off from the gym, you wanna start getting every muscle activated. You wanna start running on all cylinders again. You want to make sure that you're not neglecting something. And that doesn't mean, do a rear delt exercise, do a rear delt exercise at another angle, do a rear delt exercise at another angle. No, I'm just talking about basic fundamental movements and getting the whole body working again. The number two thing to focus on is going to be frequency, okay? The higher the frequency in general with your recomp, the faster and more effective your recomp is gonna be, okay? You wanna get those muscles working and you wanna get them working frequently. So let's just say somebody does a push, pull, legs, off, repeat, okay? That means that they're doing pushes and pulls and legs, pushes, pulls, and legs, and then off. So that's the 7 days, right? That means they get pushes in twice per week, pulls in twice per week, and legs in twice per week, meaning each one of those muscle groups is working twice per week, okay? For a recomp, I recommend having your frequency higher. Right now, and ever since I started my recomp, my frequency's been 4 times per week. I've been working out every muscle, every exercise for every part of the body 4 times per week, okay? Why? Your body just has to go through the frequency to get back to where it was. It's just how the recomp is most effective. So let's cover the bases that you need for your exercises for the recomp, okay? First thing you're gonna want is a squat movement. Something that has you squatting, something that has you using your legs in their entirety. It can be something like a leg press, it could be something like a hack squat, it could be a variation of a hack squat, it could be a barbell squat, anything like that. Some type of squat movement is recommended. Front squat, just whatever feels right. If you've dealt with an injury, whatever feels right then. Just make sure you have some type of squat variation in there, okay? And I'm saying these in the order of which I've been doing them as well. So some type of squat variation. I've been doing this hack squat variation that I really like. So that's my choice. Next thing is a hip hinge exercise. This is something related to deadlifts, okay? Something where your hips are hinging. So a deadlift, a Romanian deadlift, a barbell deadlift, dumbbell deadlifts. I've been personally choosing dumbbell Romanian deadlifts. They've always been a staple for my hamstrings. I've always been comfortable doing them. So that's been my choice. You could also do something like a glute bridge, hip thrusts, something like that if you're comfortable with those. That will be your hip hinge exercise. Okay. After that, you need to do a vertical press, vertical push. So shoulders, shoulder press, whether that's barbell OHP, dumbbell OHP, whatever, or a machine. Anything that's a vertical overhead press that you're comfortable with, make sure you do that. Okay. Next thing after that is going to be a horizontal row. So pulling towards you. Okay. Back exercise. Rows. Whatever type of row you're comfortable with, whether it's a dumbbell row, a seated cable row, a machine row, a barbell row, whatever you're comfortable with, do that. Personally, I've been choosing supinated, so underhand machine rows. Underhand chest supported machine rows. Okay, I pull pretty low. That's just me, whatever you're comfortable with. Next thing you want to do, incline press movement. Well, actually, a flat press movement, just a horizontal press. I choose incline because horizontal kind of messes with my elbows a little bit still and I'm not comfortable with it. But this is also what can be considered your horizontal press, right? The opposite of your horizontal pulls. So this can be something like the bench press, dumbbell incline presses, or in my case, I'm using the incline hammer strength press, the incline plate loaded hammer strength press. So something that has you pushing, right? A chest movement. We already did the vertical pushes, now we're doing the horizontal pushes, or in my case, the incline horizontal pushes, whatever you're comfortable with, okay? So far we have a squat movement, a hip hinge exercise, which is Romanian deadlifts in my case, right? A vertical push, shoulder presses, a horizontal pull, rows, and a horizontal push, chest, or incline push, chest, okay? From there, you need to do a vertical pull. So that's going to be something like pull-ups or pull-downs. In my case, narrow grip, neutral pull-downs, okay? Supinated kind of hurts because of my elbow tendonitis issue that I was dealing with. So neutral grip pull-downs, that's what I've been doing. So that covers the vertical pull portion. From there, I move straight into arms. I transition to triceps because I just did pulls and my biceps were just activated. So I give them a little bit of a break, hop into triceps. I've been doing what I like to call bike pumps. I'll probably demonstrate them in another video so you guys can see it, but it's basically a tricep push down with the rope, right? I kind of have like a triangle bar. I just grab the bar and do triceps with the rope. However, instead of just hinging at the elbow, I kind of make it almost like a decline press by kind of dragging the bar up my body, pushing it down along my body. And what that does is it kind of eases the pressure on my elbow joint and makes it more comfortable for me. It lets me use a lot more weight for my tricep without feeling the pain of a regular tricep push down. Again, that's because of the injury I was dealing with, okay? Tricep push downs. You can do anything you want for tris. That's pretty self-explanatory. Next thing, biceps. For me, I can't do really anything supinated, so I've been doing dumbbell hammer curls, just standing. You can do them seated, you can do angled curls, you could put your chest up against a bench and do curls facing down. You could do barbell curls, you could do easy bar curls, you could do preacher curls. Anything that you're happy with for curls, do those, okay? From there, abs and calves, simple. So, recap, squat movement, hip hinge movement, which is the deadlift that we talked about. Vertical push, shoulder presses, horizontal pull, rows, horizontal push, chest presses, or incline push, right? Chest presses. Vertical pulls, triceps, biceps, abs, calves. If you do these things and you include all of these movements and all these muscles 3 to 4 times a week, I've been doing 4 times a week, and you combine it with adequate nutrition, your results in 3 to 4 months will blow you away. Now getting into it deeper, okay? What were my rep ranges? What was the weight that I was using for these exercises? Okay, I'm gonna say it in a way that is gonna help you guys because you guys will be able to apply it to wherever your strength levels are at, okay? And this is again something I discussed with Eric Helm, something that's been helping me out very much. So when we started, it was, okay, you're gonna do 3 sets of 15 on everything, okay? Sounds simple, but what are you gonna do? So 3 sets of 15, but I want the 15th rep to be at 80% failure. So what does that mean? That means if I'm doing a hack squat movement for my legs, I reach the 15th rep and I'm at 80% of failure. So I still have a little bit left in the tank, right? It's gonna be something that you're gonna have to read and understand. 80% is not something as easy to read as say 95 or 99%, where obviously it's really close to your 1 rep max. But you wanna have a little bit left in the tank, okay? Call it 80%, and this goes for everything. So 3 sets of 15, where the 15th rep has you at 80% failure for each movement, okay? Just give yourself a starting point. None of your 15th reps should be at failure or really near it, okay? Just 80% to it. From there, every workout you do the same exercises, okay? Because we need a way to quantify. You do the same exercises, but you increase the load a little tiny bit by the smallest increments every single time. So if I'm doing a hack squat and I'm doing 3 plates per side, okay? For example, and I'm doing 3 plates per side, I'm gonna add say a 2.5 the next workout, or a 5 the next workout. And then after that, add a 5 and a 2.5. Then the next workout after that, add a 5 and another 5. So it'd be 10 on top of the 3 plates, right? So little increments each time, okay? If I'm doing shoulder presses, if I'm doing 50-pound dumbbells on shoulder presses, right? I might do 52.5s if I have those at my gym, or 55s whenever I'm ready. So the smallest increments you can make. And every workout, you wanna get closer to 100% failure on that 15th rep. So your first workout is gonna be 3 sets of 15 at 80% failure on the 15th rep. The next time you go in, it's gonna be theoretically 3 sets of 15 at 81% failure on your 15th rep. Does that make sense? So each time you're gonna be exerting yourself a little tiny bit more. You're still gonna be doing 3 sets of 15, but the 15th rep is gonna be getting a little bit more difficult every time you go into the gym. Eventually, after a few sessions, okay, if you're going to the gym, let's say 3-4 times a week doing this full body thing, you're gonna be doing a lot of workouts and you're gonna be including these muscles a lot. So you're gonna get the time in the gym to be able to make these small increments. You're gonna get to a point where a few weeks down the road, your 15th rep is gonna reach close to 100% failure, okay? Fast forwarding, once you get to 3 sets of 15 and that 15th rep is reaching 100% failure, so you're doing 3 sets of 15 on mostly everything, and your 15th rep is really just pretty much failure, that's your indication to change the rep ranges up a little bit, okay? So what you're gonna do from that point on is you're going to switch it to 4 sets of 10, okay? So first it was 3 sets of 15, which is a total of 45 reps per exercise, okay? Now we're doing 4 sets of 10, which is 40 reps per exercise, but you're gonna be at 80% failure on the 10th rep now, meaning you're gonna be using a little bit more weight, obviously, because it's sets of 10 instead of sets of 15. Does that make sense? So now you're doing 4 sets of 10 on everything that you've been doing, but your weight's gonna increase because you're only doing sets of 10. You're gonna start off with your 10th rep being at 80% failure, okay? Next time you go in, your 10th rep is supposed to be 81% failure, 82% failure the next workout, 83% failure the next workout, 84% failure the next workout, okay? So you wanna get to a point where with the smallest increments, your 10th rep starts approaching 100% failure, okay? You're gonna get to a point where your 10th rep is 100% failure, okay? That's when you've reached the next phase, okay? That's actually where I am right now, guys. I'm on my 4 sets of 10 on everything, where everything's starting to approach 100% failure. That kind of gives you a time frame of what I've been able to do. I don't really plan on switching up the 4 sets of 10 anytime soon. I actually want to keep going, keep pushing myself, because my strength levels are almost where they were when I left off. So, I mean, once you reach that, that's kind of your indicator of you've made it. So, I'm kind of reaching that point. Obviously, I'm not 100% as strong as I was on a lot of things, but I'm really getting close to where I was when I left off, which was almost a year ago, so I'm happy to say that. That being said, what do I plan on doing in the future? I'm actually going to keep doing these 4 sets of 10. I'm going to keep pushing my strength little by little, see if I get stronger. But the point was I recomped effectively, and it took me to where I am now in such a short time frame. Okay? Apply that to where you're at. Make sure you include those movements. Make sure you're getting at least 3 to 4 times frequency per muscle group, per movement. So you need to be going to the gym 3 to 4 to 5 days a week doing this full body thing. I'm not gonna lie guys, it takes a while. I'm in the gym from 2 to 2.5 hours each time I'm there, but it's very gratifying. I'm sweating more than I've ever sweated during weight training in my career, just because I'm not used to this 4 times a week frequency per muscle group. I really like it. I feel like it's good bang for your buck despite being there for 2.5 hours. And I think you guys can really learn a lot and improve a lot by applying this to yourselves. Whether you're recomping right now, you're gonna recomp soon, or you're gonna recomp down the road, it's gonna happen. You're gonna hit that ditch and you're not gonna know what to do. So I recommend you share this video with someone who might be going through something like this, or you might save this video for your reference. You know, give it a like if it helped you out. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully you can learn something from it. Hopefully we don't have to suffer from so much atrophy for so many months without any gains or recomps to compensate down the road. We all want to look good as much as possible. That's not the #1 priority in life, obviously. But, you know, I think this approach can kind of have you looking good and feeling good, feeling productive. And as long as you hop into it realistically and you don't make drastic changes from one day to the next, and you really kind of transition into what I've said, and I know it was a lot of information, I know you guys are going to succeed. So if you have any other questions, post them in the comments below. I know there's a lot of stuff I probably missed, but in general, those are the things I wanted to cover. So I hope you guys liked it. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm off to Olympia in the next couple days. I'm actually excited. Tomorrow, Kelsey's graduating from her RDA dental school, so I'm going to be supporting her there. And the next day, I'm going to be flying out to Vegas for the Olympia with Kelsey, and I'll be with my protein team. So I'll see you guys out there in Las Vegas. It's going to get yucky in more ways than one. And yeah. All right, guys, see you in the next video. I have something in store for you guys for those of you who've been dealing with injuries, specifically tendonitis or elbow issues, whether that's golfer's elbow or tennis elbow. So looking forward to it. All right, see you guys in the next one. Peace.